Good morning, students. Today we'll start the second chapter of physics, that is magnetic effect of current. Firstly, we have to know what is a magnet. What is a magnet? Now, magnet is a substance which can attract small pieces of iron, nickel, cobalt, etc., and always indicates north and south direction when suspended freely. So, magnet is that substance which can attract small pieces of iron, nickel, cobalt, etc., and always indicates north and south direction when suspended freely is called a magnet. Now, we have to deal with the properties of magnet. Say, magnet has two poles, north and south. Means magnet is always having two poles. Monopole magnet is not possible. Monopole magnet means what? The magnet which is consisting of one pole only. That is called monopole. So, monopole magnet is not possible. Suppose we take this one as a magnet which has the north pole only, which is not possible. Suppose we consider a magnet which has south pole only, it is also not possible. So, magnet has always two poles, north and south. Like poles repel each other and unlike poles attract each other. What does it mean? Suppose we take two magnets and place the magnet in such a way that north poles are facing each other. So, similar pole, that is the north pole, are brought closer to each other. Then what has happened? They repel each other by a force. And suppose two south poles are brought closer to each other. Here is also similar poles are interacting. So you see, they also repel each other. But if opposite poles are facing each other, that means one north pole and another south pole is facing each other, then we see there is an attraction between the magnet. So, this is the reason because of which we can say like poles of magnet repel each other and opposite pole or unlike pole attract each other. Now, they always exist in pair of poles, means magnet is always bipole in nature. Now, one more interesting topic, that is repulsion, is the Shearer test of magnetism. So, suppose you are given two substances, we don't know whether both of them are magnet or not, and for this thing we have to take a test, and in this test repulsion is the Shearer test of magnetism. How? Suppose two pieces of matter are brought closer to each other. We say there's an attraction. So, if the attraction is taking place, then what has happened? The poles, maybe the matters or the substance may be magnets, because suppose north and south pole of these two are facing each other. Or you also can say one is magnet and another is magnetic substance. We also know that there is the attraction between the magnet and magnetic substance. So, attraction is taking place between the opposite poles of the magnet as well as between the magnet and magnetic substance. So, by attraction, we cannot judge that both of the bodies or both of the objects are magnet. That can be done by the repulsion only. Suppose if we bring two substances closer to each other and we see there is a repulsion, so we can easily say the substance, both of the substance are magnet, because repulsion is taking place between the opposite poles of the magnet, and this is the reason because of which we can say that repulsion is a surer test of magnetism. Now, magnetic field and magnetic field lines. So, what is magnetic field? Magnetic field is the region around the magnet within which force of attraction or force of repulsion can be detected. So, magnetic field is a space around the magnet within which it can exert a magnetic force on another magnet or magnetic substance. So, the region within which its force can be experienced is considered as a magnetic field. Now, magnetic field around a magnet can be detected by using magnetic compass. You see, these are the magnetic compass. By using magnetic compass, we can find the magnetic field around a magnet. Now, magnetic field lines. Magnetic field lines means what? See, magnetic field lines are the imaginary lines which are originating from the North Pole and ends at the South Pole. See the diagram carefully. So, this is a magnet, its north and south poles are there, and the imaginary lines are originating from the North Pole and they end at the South Pole. Imaginary lines are originating from the North Pole and they end at the South Pole, and these imaginary lines are called magnetic lines of force. These imaginary lines are called magnetic lines of force, right? So, magnetic lines of force are originating from the North Pole and end at South Pole. And you must remember one more thing, the region up to which these imaginary lines extend, they give the existence of magnetic field of that magnet. So, magnetic field lines are the imaginary lines originating from the North Pole and end at the South Pole of the magnet. Now, magnetic field lines are closer at pole. Magnetic field lines are the closer at poles. See the diagram. At polar region, magnetic lines of force are denser, but at the middle region, magnetic lines of force are less denser. That indicates that strength of the magnet is maximum at poles and minimum at middle. That can be demonstrated by using one more diagram. Suppose a magnet is taken and its north and south pole are distinguished. Now you have to take different pins and you see at the polar regions number of pins suspended is more as we move towards the middle portion we see the number of poles are decreasing. So that indicates that magnetic field strength is maximum at poles and minimum at middle. So at poles field strength is maximum. Field strength is maximum, and at middle field strength is minimum. And this is the reason because of which we get dense magnetic lines of force at the polar region and less dense magnetic lines of force at the middle. Now, magnetic field lines due to a current carrying conductor. See, this was demonstrated by this was demonstrated by Oersted. This was demonstrated by Oersted, who first developed the relation between electric current and magnetism. He showed that whenever a current carrying wire is placed over or below the magnetic needle, there is the deflection in the magnetic needle, and this deflection is done only when current is passed through the wire. If the current is not passing through the wire, there must not be any deflection, and that was demonstrated by Oersted. And you see the diagram carefully. Suppose a current carrying wire is there. Suppose this wire is carrying current and some iron dust are kept around it, and whenever current is passing through the wire, we will see the iron particles, iron dust, arrange themselves in the form of concentric circle, and these concentric circles are nothing but the magnetic lines of force. And the direction of magnetic lines of force can be found out by using right hand thumb rule. And this right hand thumb rule states that if a current carrying wire is held in our right hand in such a way that thumb indicates the direction of current, then curling of finger will indicate the direction of magnetic lines of force. In the first diagram, in the figure 1, you see current is in the upward direction. So, direction of magnetic lines of force must be anti-clockwise. It will be like this. And in the second case, current is in downward direction. So, direction of magnetic lines of force is clockwise. And by using this rule, we can easily find out the direction of magnetic field in a current carrying straight wire. Today is this much. We'll discuss the topic in the next class again. Till then,